Hi darlings, welcome to a new video here on Be My Bride. We are going to be talking about 2019 wedding trends today, which is very exciting. Soph's done lots of research, I have to hand it over to you.
Yeah, we are going to be looking at our phones because our research is on our phones.
Yes.
Notes.
So if we're being looking like antisocial, I promise we're not. And we're here in beautiful Hedsel House today. They've kindly let us film in their bridal suite. This is the, would this be the room that you get ready in, I guess?
I've always wondered that because this is the bridal suite.
Or is this the honeymoon, like the night,
Yeah,
the night you get married?
The room that you'd stay in the night you get married. If so, this is the
know.
honeymoon bed.
Naughty. So should we start with venues?
Okay,
in a bridal venue.
Venues. So the trends that we're seeing a lot of this year tend to be more stripped back. So probably quite different to this. A lot of industrial, stripped back barns. Sort of less formal than traditional weddings. A lot of banquet style seating for the guests.
Okay.
So rather than have the individual tables, sort of a
more of a community kind of feel.
Yeah,
That's nice.
with a lot of the florals being quite low,
Okay.
people being able to talk to each other a bit more sociable than a traditional
That's interesting.
wedding breakfast would be.
Very nice. I wonder if that's because it's a lot of like millennials, like our kind of generation getting married, and a lot of people our age really don't want to succumb to traditions. They want to do something completely different.
And I think another thing that there's a lot of is people are so heavily influenced by Pinterest and by Instagram. So they're kind of thinking a lot more about what the aesthetics of their wedding are going to look like than perhaps previous generations have.
Interesting.
So I think that is why people are going quite clean, quite very stripped back, nothing too detailed. You know, the traditional venues where you've got the floral carpet and the heavy curtains, that's all kind of going, and it's just a lot more of a blank canvas that you can kind of make with whatever you want.
Yeah, and possibly more affordable as well.
Yeah.
I think we're so aware of what things cost now, and people they still want beauty, and that's why Pinterest is so great, because you can get so much inspiration and almost DIY it. And if you do go for that industrial barn or, like, as you said, almost like warehouse style wedding, then you can do that at a budget but still make it look really Instagram goals. What else did it say? Ooh, boho outdoor weddings and teepees.
Yeah,
I've heard of a few people
are really in as well. Again, obviously they're a real blank canvas, something that you can really dress up however you want to dress it up.
And if you've got a family that's got a nice garage, I was going to say, if you've got a family that's got a nice big paddock or field or big garden, then you can pitch
I've heard
that.
quite a few people do that, where they've got a lot of land, people that have like grown up near farms and things like that, and then they've just hired a teepee or a marquee and they've done it all themselves.
Yeah,
which is
such a good idea.
Yes, such a good idea.
And money saving as well.
Money saving. I guess the thing with things like that, and again with the industrial style weddings and barns, they're probably not licensed wedding venues.
True.
So, but then that's something we're seeing so much more of, where people are having their ceremony on a separate occasion, and then they're having the
actual signing of the deeds.
Yeah, separately.
Interesting.
And that's actually become quite a thing that perhaps in years gone by would have been a bit like, oh, in secret going to registry office and then having the wedding with everybody else. But actually people are seeing it as two occasions to have a party.
Two excuses to have a party.
Two dresses.
I would do a high street wedding dress for like a registry office.
Exactly.
And then the big gown for the teepee or the
That's what I
outdoor
think is
thing.
really nice. And it's
so
and you get to have that kind of intimate wedding with your family at the registry office, and then you'd have the big party with everybody else in your venue that isn't a traditional venue, your industrial barn or industrial warehouse.
Thinking about the weddings that I've been invited to for this summer coming up, 2019, of which there are many, it's such a variation. Like, some people are doing really classic buildings like Hedsel House that we are now, and I'm not gonna lie, that's probably what I will end up doing, something really traditional and like super romantic like this. But then there is also someone getting married in a barn, and someone's getting married in like an outdoor ceremony, so there's lots of variation. The next thing that we've noted is grazing tables, and I love that idea.
This. I know.
Oh my god, especially as someone who loves to eat, like, to be able to go back and
actually
get it again.
A bit like, oh, I wish I'd heard of that before my wedding, because
I loved at your engagement party. Soph had a hog roast, and it was just a local guy, wasn't it? Oh my god, the best food ever. So
that's
good.
something again I think people are seeing more of, is with these sort of industrial warehouses and the barns and teepees, you have to bring in your own catering. So I think people are having,
you're not so restricted.
Exactly, and you can have your grazing table with your cheese.
Yeah.
And, the They look amazing. I was like, oh, I would have loved to have done that.
You could have like a grazing dessert table if you just want to dabble with the trend and just have like Charlie's cousin. He's actually, fun fact, he is the masseuse in Mamma Mia 2, if you rewatch that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Elliot, he's the massaging Judy Walsh and does a few of the like lifting scenes. He was marrying Kelly, and Kelly is in Hamilton. I'm name dropping big time. But anyway, at their wedding, they almost had like a grazing style dessert, but it was all, his family are very like hands-on. Elliot's father made a Ferris wheel, and each of the capsules.
Didn't you have that at Charlie's sister's party?
Yes, exactly. He brought it to the party afterwards. Each of the like pods, yeah, exactly, had a basket of sweets on it.
Yeah, so we had a mini version of that.
You did? Oh my gosh, so much fun. It's really nice to do something a bit different. Now let's talk about the really fun subject of wedding dresses. Obviously a certain royal is going to be inspiring a lot of designs.
I think generally this year we have seen a lot of, well, we're expecting to see a lot of influence from the royal wedding that we had last year. Even obviously the stripped back venues isn't very royal, but kind of Meghan did go quite low-key with things like her bouquet and her flat and her dress.
She did.
They were very simple, very clean. So we're seeing that trend through a lot of a lot of different aspects of the wedding. And wedding dresses is probably where she's influenced it the most.
Yeah, not necessarily an outright copy or a dupe of Meghan's dress,
just
but
the style, the simplicity of the dress, the elegance of the neckline. People are kind of shying away from the over-the-top lace, ruffles of things that they've been in years gone by, and they're going for much simpler fabrics and clean
which again
lines.
is really good for millennials. If actually, to be honest, I think it's ageless. I think Meghan Markle's dress was totally timeless at any age. But if you are looking to spend a little bit less on your wedding dress, I always say in all of my videos, my audience would be so bored of hearing me say it, but if you're going to go for something really affordable, then keep it simple, because there's nothing worse than cheap details. So if you are going to be saving on your wedding dress, keep it simple. And I think that Meghan's impact on that mentality is really, really good for the wedding dress trends of 2019. And you've also noted that big dresses are back. So that's kind of
big dresses are back, but in a totally different way to the big dresses when you think the big dresses and the meringues, Diana's dress. Big dresses are back, but they're a lot lighter fabric.
Okay.
I think we spoke about this with the video that we did with Carla from Windsor Newton Brides, the trend on sort of crepe and soft silk and things like that. So they're a lot lighter materials, airy.
Beautiful. Lots of chiffons.
Yeah, light airy dresses and chiffons and things like that. But again, very simple, not the ruffles and the bows and the lace that we've seen in decades gone by.
We've come a long way from Diana's puffy
but I'm quite pleased to see that big dresses are back, because I think there has been a trend on really slim fit dresses for a while. Obviously I had quite a big dress, but my excuse for that was how many times in your life do you get to wear a ball gown?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you have to think, I've always had it in my head that if you make your dress any other colour, it should still be obviously a wedding dress. Like yours in red would still be a red wedding dress. Which is,
but if you could, I sometimes feel with some of the slimmer dresses, or more fitted dresses, is that if they were in black, they would look
like a red carpet dress.
Like a red carpet dress, exactly.
That's so true. And the next thing that we spotted on bridal catwalks and things like that are big veils. And again, that's probably down to Meghan Markle. She's probably inspired that.
And Priyanka Chopra has been a big influence on that as well. She had that really long,
like multi-tier almost, wasn't it?
Train.
Beautiful.
And the detail was all about Meghan's veil more so than the dress.
Yeah. And again, I know I keep going back to it being affordability, but if you're going to have a simple dress, then you can probably get a bigger veil and make more of a statement with your veil if your dress is a little bit more simple.
Yeah,
that's quite a nice way of doing it. One of my favourite topics when it comes to weddings is flowers. So what were the main flower trends?
Flowers, a lot of foliage. That's something that we've seen coming across again from the royal wedding. Meghan, to be honest, although Meghan did have quite a simple bouquet, I think that actually is a royal thing, less so than just her. I think they typically don't stick to having too much colour, and they do usually go quite simple, more about the foliage and things like that. So anyway, we're seeing still the foliage trend that we saw last year is continuing. People are being...
Nettles.
I don't know actually, I haven't...
Or thistles. thistles rather. I always think thistles, especially if you're having a winter wedding. I think they look really beautiful.
Lovely. Do you know what has started to come in, which is lovely, is fruit in bouquet, like berries.
What? I've not heard that before.
Berries and things like that.
I can imagine like a frosted frozen berry style in a winter wedding, but what would you have, like strawberries in your summer bouquet?
I guess it's probably more of a like autumn winter theme. But I quite like that, the berries, and people are really sticking to eco-friendly. They're all about locally sourced, a lot more natural.
Just take out your pruning scissors and go and get it from your local.
Exactly, I think people are trying to do that a lot more.
It's a really nice idea.
And a lot more to continue with the grasses, pampas, which
we love that, don't we? Yeah, and seeds as well. That almost like the thistle pods almost look a little bit like seed pods.
Yeah, I guess they probably do fit into that.
Or like poppy seed pods. They look so beautiful, and they're probably not that expensive. Yeah. I think florists have got themselves a bit of a bad reputation for like hydrangeas being, oh my gosh, when I went to, I think it was Liberty, the hydrangeas were £15 each. Oh my god, and that's not even for a wedding bouquet. That was because I wanted some photos for Instagram. But yeah, I think people are going for the more affordable options, which actually have just as much impact.
And people are, if they are trying to save money, people are going to dried flowers a little bit more. Whereas before people have gone for foam flowers, that's not very eco-friendly. And so we're seeing a lot more dried flowers coming through, which is nice.
Interesting. You can get, I've got a campaign for Etsy on my blog, and you can actually get dried flower bouquets from Etsy. There's some really beautiful ones on there. Yeah, I stumbled across it.
I like the trend of the floral moon gates. Have you seen those?
What is that?
So they're like hoops.
Two moons?
No, they're like literally a circle, a hoop. Of flowers.
That's
really
a nice idea.
And you sit on them. But also they're just a really lovely backdrop. So it's kind of like moving, it's a bit of a take on the flower wall that we've seen. It's like the next step from that is the flower moons.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Floral, yes please. And then cakes. Sophie and I had the pleasure of trying loads of different flavoured cakes. We came to a bridal show here, which was our last video, so we'll leave that link down below. But we got to try loads of different wedding cakes, and the trends, aside from ingredients, impressive cakes, heavily decorated. What kind of things did you think?
So this I think has been slightly influenced by Princess Eugenie's wedding. If you remember her cake that had the autumn leaves all over it.
That was beautiful.
I think people are quite influenced now with the very heavily decorated cakes, real like attention to detail. But also there's a trend for hand painted cakes.
Wow, so like sheet icing and then actual like watercolour on it.
Which looks amazing.
I bet. Oh my gosh.
But people are sticking again with the whole locally sourced ingredients, very sort of eco-friendly.
Ooh, I like that.
Sustainability.
Yeah.
So
should we, on that note, explain how Soph did her gender reveal?
Oh yeah.
That was cake related. Do you want to tell the story?
So my gender reveal, a lot of people do balloon popping, but we have dogs that we're going to be there. And also I thought if we do balloons, it's literally over and then nobody, it's just over and that's it.
You can't eat a balloon.
So we had a gender reveal cake, so we cut into the cake and found out the gender from the inside. So it was
so cute.
I'm having a boy. So we had blue Smarties and hundreds and thousands, everything that all came out as we opened it.
Sorry. It was so sweet. So Soph gave the envelope with the gender that the doctor?
It was a sonographer,
Sonographer. She gave it to a friend who gave it to the baker, and then the baker was the only person that knew what the gender was. But yeah, it was really cute.
Put a little clip of.
Put a clip on the screen.
Finding out.
So cute. And then moving on to traditions, we've seen writing your own ceremony. So there's actually, again, I think a millennial thing. People don't feel the need to stick to the traditional routines in any way. One of my friends was saying that actually they want their husband, or their husband-to-be is going to walk down the aisle with his mum at the beginning, and then I think it's inspired by Brazilian weddings, and then the bridesmaids, and then the bride. So people are just switching things up a lot more, aren't they?
Well, traditionally it was the bride would walk in and the bridesmaids would follow.
Behind, yeah.
So that's more of an American thing, that the bridesmaids have gone first, and that's something that we've adopted over here now.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, that completely mixing things up. And I think, again, if people aren't necessarily having a traditional church service, if they're doing a registry and then they're doing a separate ceremony that's with the family, it's not a legal ceremony anyway, so you can make your own, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I actually saw somebody who walked down the aisle to the EastEnders theme tune.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Gospel choirs is another trend, and I think that's amazing. Definitely Meghan Markle
definitely inspired by the royal wedding.
I would love that.
I actually
Goosebumps.
really wanted that for my wedding,
Wow.
but I didn't really know how I would go about having a gospel choir.
Google Windsor Gospel Choirs.
Yeah.
I think that would be incredible, because there's nothing worse than people singing really quietly at your wedding.
Yeah.
I've never actually experienced it at a wedding, but I think at like christenings and things like that, if you don't have a choir, then, and if people, often 90% of the people may not be regular churchgoers, they might not know the
That's
hymns.
what, when we had our weddings, we had it in a church, and I was very conscious of the fact that not everybody would necessarily know the hymns. So we had the choir that were at the church there, and there weren't that many of them, but they were enough to like lift
They were powerful.
the congregation. And I also chose songs that were, I tried to choose songs that were reasonably well known, because again, I think if you know the song, you're more likely to sing it. Even though there's some beautiful songs, they're not as well known. So
and the vicar always sings really loudly, and it's just, oh, it's so lovely. We also saw bridesmen and groomsgirls, so a real switch up of the usual traditions. I guess, I don't know if it's like, if that's gay weddings or like single sex weddings or just everyone.
Yeah, but like if you've got a guy best friend, why couldn't he be
That's so true. Yeah.
A bridesman.
Bridesmaid and bridesman. I love that. I think I might do that. Oh, how cute.
should.
That would be really nice.
I don't have any guys that I'm
Close
that good
guy
friends
friends.
with, but I do quite like the idea of that. And I know like some people that have like a sister-in-law or something, they have wanted to include them, and they've sometimes, I think it would have been quite nice if they'd been part of that. They are part of the groom's family, so why would they not be?
Who's
in
to
his
say
party?
you can't have... Yeah, that makes so much sense. Why does it have to be girls have girls and boys have boys?
Yeah,
It should be allowed to be
exactly.
mixed. Such a good one.
Women making speeches, that's a trend that we're definitely seeing more of. Would you do a wedding
Powerful
speech?
women. No, I think I've got enough things to speak about on my wedding day. I feel like... Okay, how did you feel on your wedding day? Would you have been in an emotional state to do a speech?
I don't think I would have wanted to do a speech.
No.
It was just it was additional nerves to add to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's another thing to prepare for as well.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But I can kind of
Each to
see
their own.
why, because I don't know, it's difficult, because I actually did speak to Matt about his speech a little bit before, just to make sure he was saying thank yous to the right people. So I was like, don't forget to say thank you to this person and that person. So if I hadn't had that conversation, I maybe would have felt a bit more like I wanted to do a speech, because otherwise I would be worried that people weren't being thanked.
Yeah, that's true. And Soph made an effort to go around to every table and chat to
Yeah.
everyone and do the personal thank yous. We also spotted a trend of coloured confetti. Is that like floral confetti?
No,
or...
paper confetti, but it's
confetti.
very like Instagrammable. That's why people are doing it, to get that shot with all the colours of the confetti.
I wonder how many of these trends. I think the two biggest influencers of trends has to be Instagram and the royal wedding.
Yeah.
People want to get the shot, and they take inspiration from the royal wedding. Probably all of these trends have been inspired by one of those two. Illustrated invitations, that's an interesting one. Do you mean, oh, you've put also calligraphy, so calligraphy is obviously most beautiful.
Modern calligraphy is something that we are still seeing. It's been around for a while now, so how do you describe them? We'll put some photos of modern calligraphy.
I wouldn't really know the difference between old-fashioned and modern calligraphy.
Old-fashioned calligraphy is more like the Gothic style.
Oh, okay. So what does
modern
calligraphy
calligraphy? Modern calligraphy.
Modern
That's
calligraphy.
the really like swirly, pretty handwriting.
So beautiful. Little plug, if anybody would like some modern calligraphy on the invitations, or on even like put your addresses, or just writing someone's name for place settings. Soph and her sister have another company. We have a major entrepreneur over here called Sis Inked, and they do beautiful modern calligraphy, and they ship all over the UK. Yeah, you can sign up online and get your wedding invitations illustrated by Soph and her sister.
Yeah.
And what about illustrated invites?
Illustrated invites they're really beautiful actually, like watercolour pictures of like the venue and things like that.
That's so nice.
Or anything really in watercolour, but I love the sort of like, imagine how good Hedsel would look on an invitation with like a watercolour picture of the venue.
Oh my god, look amazing.
It would.
And then finally we've got some notes on colours and various fashion statements. So the colour of the year, bridal or non-bridal, is living coral, so a really vivid coral colour. I can't hugely imagine how that's gonna impact. actually, when Soph and I came to the Headsore Bridal Open Day, they had coral-coloured giant balloons
Yeah,
all out front of the
that's a
house.
nice way to have coral.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
I
can't imagine coral bridesmaid
yeah.
dresses, no.
I know people do it. I am a very big fan of pastel tones when it comes to bridesmaid dresses.
Maybe
I don't like too
abroad.
much of a contrast between the bridesmaids and the bride.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, a wedding abroad would look really nice. Or even if you didn't necessarily have coral as the colour of the bridesmaid dresses, it's quite a nice way to have it as your flowers and things like that.
That's a really good idea,
Corals.
yeah. Just a very subtle way of having the
Yeah.
trend in. And then you've put 3-piece suits. Is that for the bride or the
For
groom?
the groom.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, 3-piece suits, more traditional, smart suits are back.
I like
For
that.
men, yes.
Bring back the smartness. And coloured stone engagement rings inspired by Princess Eugenie.
Eugenie.
That's and Kate. She's got
Yeah,
well
she has.
engagement ring. It's bright blue, isn't it?
Yeah, and Princess Eugenie had a pink diamond.
So beautiful. Often more expensive though, isn't
Princess
it? to get?
Eugenie, I think, has also inspired the headpieces as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, statement headpieces are definitely a big thing that's probably coming from Meghan a bit as well. Very
Oh
big.
gosh, yeah.
So, and I suppose they're not even, they are tiaras, but I
different
always picture tiaras as being more like crowns.
Yeah, like
Like I would have said that both Meghan and Princess Eugenie had more, they were more sort of a headband, weren't they?
yeah, which has actually inspired fashion in general.
Yes.
Like Prada have got these
Yeah,
big chunky headbands. That's very much inspired.
I really like that.
Yeah,
I
me
really,
too.
really like that.
We should have worn our headbands for this video, like two little gossip girls. So cute. So I think that is, those are the main trends that we've spotted for 2019. We'd love to know if any of you guys are planning weddings and if you've taken any of these trends on board,
Yeah.
whether you were conscious that they were trends or whether you just happen to have been inspired by.
I mean, some of
you've
these
seen.
things I don't think I've consciously realised that
Decided.
they were trends, but they're things that I
You've
see
done.
photos of and I'm like, oh, I really like that.
Yeah, it's funny how it all kind of
Yeah.
filters through the system.
And a lot of it is, I think, from Instagram and Pinterest.
Yeah. So many sources of inspiration.
Yeah.
But we hope you found this interesting, and we will leave links to everything that we've mentioned down below, including Succinct and also beautiful Headsore House, because it really is such a stunning venue.
It is.
Thank you to them for letting us film here again. We love it so much. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.